you came out publicly, and did you do media interviews? You said you did hostile, you did friendly. What were some examples of those?
Yeah, I'll speak vaguely, but the night before I went public in June of last year, a very the most popular conservative TV network, I would say, that we all know, they were at my house the night before I went public, and we did an interview with them in my living room. They brought their TV crew and everything, and I was just, so green. I did not know what I was doing. I was so scared. I was so intimidated.
That can make you more credible, though, if you're not a polished
Yeah, I was not polished at all.
I mean, polishing the polished thing can come across as a little fake, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But so can you tell us who this was?
I think people can know. When I say the most popular conservative TV platform, I think we all know.
TV show?
TV network, news organization.
All right.
They came to my house. We did a full interview, sit down. And at the end of the day, that interview never got published because... Never made the air. Because they did not... their legal counsel had advised them not to go forward with it because of my claims against Medicaid. That my claims were not credible, potentially not credible enough for them to air it on national TV. And that I was making a huge... Again, this is a different era, right? Biden was president.
When was that interview conducted?
June of 2024.
June of 2024?
Yes.
A national news organization interviewed you?
Yes.
And didn't run the story?
Yes, because of my claims against relating to Medicaid fraud that the hospital had engaged in.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
And
that's what they said, that they didn't run it. Why? And I didn't want them to run the story without including that. That was the most pivotal part of the story, the most important part. And they didn't want to talk about it. And so I said, well, that's fine. Then don't air it.
Well, sometimes it's like, it's not that what you're saying is false. It's that what you're saying is true. And the more true it gets, oftentimes the worse it gets for the people in power. So how did you feel after that happened? Or how much time passed before they told you they weren't going to air the story?
It was a few days later. We just got word through my attorneys who had heard from their legal counsel that they wanted to run the story, but they were going to do it without that portion where I talked about the Medicaid fraud. And I just said, I'd rather not air it at all if you're not going to talk about the most important part of this.
And that fraud claim was based upon what specific piece of evidence that you witnessed? You've talked about it today, but the Medicaid fraud, was it based upon they were misgendering the people? And it was that justification?
Yeah, it was everything. And I can't get too deeply into this because this wades into legal waters, which I've been counseled very strictly to not dive into the specific evidence. But I can talk about I can talk about what I saw, right? Yeah. What I saw was they were incorrectly labeling patients the incorrect sex. They were misdiagnosing patients intentionally with the purpose of avoiding detection by insurance. And then they were prescribing these cross-sex hormones and puberty blockers and billing it to Texas Medicaid, which is illegal and has been since 2015. So it was layers of deceit and fraud that just compounded on each other. And I knew when I realized that this was being billed to the Texas taxpayer that I had to come forward.